Hi everybody, welcome to our 2020 Tee to Green season. I'm Brian Cofield, Kevin Sylvester running the camera. We'll get him on here in just a moment. And we're here with Taylor Gesel from Callaway. And we're excited that Callaway Golf is going to be a part of our Tee to Green partnership this season on our show. Lots of cool experiences and items that we're going to share throughout the course of the year, including today. So Taylor, we're going to be going through a cool fitting session with you here over the next few minutes here, but let's just start off with talking about what we're seeing here on this table.
So this year we're featuring our Callaway Mavrik line. So our Mavrik line from our drivers all the way down through our fairways, our hybrids, and into our irons features the greatest technology that we've been able to develop through artificial intelligence. Faces that are specifically designed for each individual player, new materials, new shapes that really let us fit everyone, guys like yourself and anyone that's really utilizing the Callaway line to really get them more out of their game than they've ever before.
Excellent. All right, so let's talk about what's on the table here. I'm sure for most people, the eye appeal is right over here to the driver heads here. So let's talk about the Mavrik driver and what's different, what's new about this year's look.
Yeah, of course. So Mavrik's a product of our, like I said, our artificial intelligence program that last year with Epic Flash we were very, very good at getting guys good ball speed. That ball speed is such an important factor to us. It makes guys, get more distance off of the tee, really in the rest of their game as well. One of the things that we were really able to do this year, though, is to utilize that artificial intelligence to ask that supercomputer that we use to develop the face some more questions. Is it the right shape? How can we make it sound better? How can we make it look better? Are there other factors, spin robustness, all of these things that go into the performance out on the course to be able to find out if we had it the right way. And so one of the biggest factors that we have with our standard Mavrik this year is the new Cyclone Arrow shape. So in previous models of our driver, we've utilized different weight positions, different head shapes to try and not only gain more speed with the head, but to gain more factors otherwise, like spin. And so with this new Cyclone Arrow shape, we reshaped the back part of the driver head here, gives us an advantage in terms of overall club head speed. Really a factor that not only helps to get more distance, but it helps everybody get more distance. Then when we look to the technology that we've utilized in our face, so our flash face technology that we started last year, it's a crazy wavy pattern on the back of this face that is there to be able to dictate what kind of speeds we can get, the launch, all of the feel as well. We're using a new material, our SS20 face, a new super strength metal to be able to handle the thinness and the wave pattern that supercomputer came back to us with in order to really maximize every single statistical category.
Excellent. Okay, let's look at the other side of the table where the irons are here. Also Mavrik design as well, and label. So what's new and exciting here about these?
Well, one of the things that we've now taken into the rest of the line is utilizing that flash face in every single aspect of the line. So the technologies that we've come out with in the past decade, like cut face technology and like urethane microbeads and Rogue and standing tungsten weight, all of those are great at establishing certain statistical categories. But one of the things, especially on irons, that we're really excited about is taking the flash face technology that we have in the woods and bringing it to the irons. So not only do we have 3 different models in our Mavrik line, but every single loft, every single head model has its own dedicated flash face. A 4-iron we want to launch and perform differently than a pitching wedge. They're out there for different things, and so that's what flash face is going to be able to do for us, is make every single shot optimized for every single player.
Awesome. All right, so Kevin and I are going to do the fitting here in the next few minutes here. So what's the process like? Obviously, if someone wants to come in and see you and maybe go through the same process, what are they in for?
Really, one of the first and most important things about any fitting is really learning more about your game. We have so many different clubs to choose from, so many different shafts, so many different things that we can change to help you, but really the most important aspect is understanding your game the most. What courses you're playing at, what are you normally shooting, what are things you do really well, what are things maybe you don't do very well, so that I can understand, and anybody who's fitting you, whether it's someone in a fitting studio like this or out at your local golf course, to be able to understand what we're out there to do. And so really for all of the cool things that we have at our disposal, it's always going to just be featured on what you are really out there to do.
Awesome. And of course, if you're a sports fan in Buffalo, the word analytics is thrown out nonstop. And we're going to get a ton here over on this screen after I hit the ball, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, equipment like TrackMan and other type of launch monitors really help us to be able to give us the most advanced data to be able to understand what's happening that maybe we don't see that's reflected in something like what we have on the table here.
Awesome. Okay, we're looking forward to it here. So we're off to try out the new Mavrik line from Callaway.
What does your iron game really look like when you're out there?
I would say, I would like to say my strength is kind of controlling the ball flight on.
Can I answer this question real quick? What's his iron game like? He drives the ball great.
Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But once you know, if you're in positions on par threes that you know you've got the green light to really make a good shot. What are some things that you're thinking about that you know you're going to be able to execute, but then also some things that maybe you've had in your head when you're standing over the ball that you might need a little bit more support on?
Yeah, I definitely know that my irons are lower in terms of its trajectory.
Okay.
That's something,
Shot.
I hit a lower shot. So that's something that I would be looking for, maybe something to be enhanced in that area.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that especially if I'm having a longer par three where I need to carry and land, for me that's probably more of a trouble shot in my area. Where if I'm maybe hitting like a 4 or 5 iron, I don't really generate enough trajectory height a lot of times that you need to sometimes on certain shots to maybe clear, you know, whether it's a hazard or something like that. So I guess if I'm looking for improvement in my iron game, that would be there.
I'll give this simple. He hits it plenty far. He just doesn't hit it high enough. Like if he's got to carry, you know, like he said, if he's got to carry it, even your wedges, you hit a lower ball flight.
Yeah.
Which is fine sometimes, but
which
I would say with 4,
sometimes on
5,
wedge.
6, you do not
No.
get much arc on it whatsoever.
Our standard Mavrik irons are really going to promote a great amount of distance. It's a little bit strength and loss to them, deeper center of gravity, so that when we launch the ball and we're expecting it to go farther, it's still going to look like a 7 iron. 7 iron is still going to look like a 7 iron, even though it is at a stronger loft pattern. When we then look to Mavrik Max, Mavrik Max is going to follow a fairly standard game improvement loft profile, but a little bit thicker sole to it. One of the factors you talked about in terms of height. These are going to launch a little bit higher. They're nice and easy to hit. They fly right up in the air. Good at promoting distance, but also good at really giving us a more rounded type of forgiveness profile. And then the last one that we have is Mavrik Pro. Mavrik Pro is going to take a little bit more aggressive look to it, but it does have all of the same forgiveness factors and stability factors we have. We're going to start you off on Max. We'll get you into Carnival Shaft here, and we'll see where it goes. Nice, good swing. Let's move, so on the next one here, let's just move the ball in a little bit farther.
I do want to mention there's a camera right over here that's filming this. I'm just saying that one had me concerned. That's why I moved from out of there.
Behind the table, it's like
yes.
yeah.
By the way, if you're watching this and you've never done this, or Which the Wedges, this is awesome. Best fitting studio in Buffalo.
How's that ball feel?
Feels good.
Feels good.
Feels
That's
soft coming off.
Yeah, so that's the new Chrome Soft 20. So that's the new constructed Chrome Soft for this year. Nice. All right, let me take a look at that. When you look to the setup in the rest of your bag, that's good. Do you have hybrids in your bag right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What number hybrids do you have?
I have a 3.
You have a 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So then that's going to be one of the things that we look at next.
You hit that 175 essentially.
Good.
Yeah.
I would say
That's the money.
As you work through your bag in terms of not only the length on par 3s, you know, second shots on par 5s, you know, any type of distance pinpointing, we want to make sure that that stays consistent throughout the set. And so, how's that feel?
that feels good.
Right. Oh yeah. When we have our 3 different driver models that complement the 3 different iron models as well. Your standard is what I see as the fastest head model with that new aerodynamic design. We do have a max driver that focuses on forgiveness and stability, launching it down the middle of the fairway while still maintaining a lot of distance. We then also have a sub-zero model that focuses on specific statistical categories, such as spin, mostly spin, to be able to take player swings that do have a little bit more maintainable driver swing, and then pinpoint those statistical categories to help them. What kind of situations are you finding yourself using the 3-wood most often?
I rarely ever use it out of the rough. I usually will use a hybrid there, just gets comfort for me.
Sure.
I usually won't. I would say this is probably the club that I should hit more that I don't. I would say maybe once a round.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice, good swing.
That one felt better.
We want to hit a 3-wood like Stenson.
No, chunky a little.
All right, let's do this. We're going to try out the other club head. So this is going to be your standard Mavrik club head.
Okay.
You're definitely going to see a design difference. This is meant to be the faster of the two club heads. What I want to make sure is that we can continue to maintain a nice dispersion factor as well. So the way that we have the internal structure of this, one of the things that we focused on was sound. Sound and feel are important factors that sometimes don't dictate how we hit the ball, but can be important factors of enjoyment of the game and how you experience the club. So as you take a swing with this, I want you to listen to the sound. It's very different from clubs that we've had in the past, and it really follows a pattern that artificial intelligence came back and said, hey, you want it to sound like this is what it's going to look like.
Yep. Okay.
There. But one of the things that stuck out to me was what you pinpointed, is height. So we are going to move you up in terms of loft.
Okay.
One of the good, you're getting great ball speed out of it though. And so as we move up in terms of loft, normally physics will dictate that we start to lose a little bit of ball speed, but we're already at a very comfortable place there. So now we can really start to focus on those little factors that are going to help push us out and tighten us up.
Okay. Some drivers I'll grab and just right away, like, this one's just not for me to feel.
Right. That's a better swing.
All right, so we hit a lot of drivers.
Yeah.
Okay. Making some kind of changes along the way here. We kind of got it to where we think maybe he's at a good spot. So what changes did you make along the way?
Right, so we have not only between the three club heads that we talked about, obviously different shaft options that we have, but one of the things that we have on all of our drivers is going to be our OptiFit cog. So we have two different things that we can change. One of the things that I saw when you were making swings is our path kept us out to the right. We were consistently hitting it out to the right. So that D right on the top there, that's a draw setting. Now it's not going to be a draw in terms of ball flight, it's just going to be initial trajectory. So what that's going to do is take that initial right trajectory that we have, just start to push it back towards the left a little bit. As we then found a balance between the launch that you had, the spin that you had, how well we were hitting it on the face, I wanted to add a little bit of loft to your swing. You had mentioned in your swing, sometimes it was tough to maintain height.
Right.
A little bit of extra loft is not going to hurt us. Okay. Having a lower lofted head, like a 9-degree head, going to give us great ball speed. A little bit of extra help in terms of the height is going to keep that ball in the air farther. Okay. When you look to the 56, talk to me about areas on the course that you're most comfortable hitting that club. Is it a full length distance club, or do you end up using that for creative shots?
I think out of all the wedges, I use the 56 the most.
Okay.
I'm pretty comfortable with it around the green even too.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my maximum yardage on that would be 100.
Okay.
I wouldn't go past that, otherwise I would go to the gap wedge or a pitching wedge at that point. So I end up using that more often than not. The 60 usually is just if I need to carry something along those lines. So,
okay. But
mostly the 56, a lot of my chipping is around the green with that too.
Are you opening that club face up? Is that something that you're comfortable doing when you have those clubs in your hand, or is it mostly just straight club face?
It's a lot of times I've been doing more straight club plays. I've been trying to use the green more often, letting the ball run more often than not.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you are in the sand, when you are in higher grass, is that still what you're most comfortable playing like?
I usually will use a 60 in the sand.
60 and rough. You're in a place that you have to think about how you're going to make this shot, as opposed to, this is my distance, this is my 8-iron swing. Is that something where you're manipulating the club head, or are you just trying to hit a certain difference?
Yeah, I think I definitely at that point I might turn the face open or closed depending upon what kind of lie I have in the distance.
60 is a little bit more common to do that than
Yes.
the 56.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wedges. I'm going to put you in the S grind. The S grind is our standard grind, gives you a little bit of relief off of the trailing edge here, but is really meant as a club that not only is going to be good at maintaining a floor of distance of your expectation, but also gives you a little bit of help on the inside and outside of that club head, so that when you do want to get a little bit intricate, you have the ability to do that. Especially in our area, one of the other things that we think about is going to be bounce. Bounce is a very intricate and delicate type of factor in wedges, but complements the grinds that we use. And so when you move into your 60, you mentioned that you do sometimes open that club face. You need to hit a little bit more intricate shot than just a straight ahead distance type of shot.
Right.
Our X grind is going to give you a lot more relief off of the heel and the toe, but then comes with a higher bounce. So what bounce is going to do is basically act as a backstop. When you catch the turf, whether it's in the sand or in high grass or even into the fairway, what that's going to do, especially in our softer ground that we have in this area, is to keep that from digging too much.
Okay. All right, so we're finishing up here with Taylor. Kevin and I went through all of the irons and the hybrids and the 3-wood and the driver and the wedges as well. So hope you've enjoyed our ride here so far along the way here, hitting the TrackMan here at Woods to Wedges, and now we're going to finish up here and kind of go through our final stages.
Yes. So when we looked at all of the different models, all the technologies that we have in our new Mavrik line, we found for yourself that you didn't necessarily fall straight into the max category. We started in those irons, nice good height out of them, great distance out of them. As we moved into the hybrids and into the woods and into the driver, little things brought us to different areas. Your standard driver that you have in your hand here gives you great ball speed, great launch to it. I mean, by the end, we were getting up into the 285, 290, really starting to get such a jump in ball speed that is what I like to see.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a great opportunity to come here. So if you want to check it out, come check out the Mavrik line. Of course, our friends at Callaway Golf. We've got some great stuff that Kevin and I are excited to have this upcoming season here on Tee to Green.